Entry-level job postings in America are down 35% since January 2023. Not because the economy collapsed, but because AI is taking these jobs away. So today I want to break down what is actually happening to the Gen Z job market. Because what we're being told right now is
the economy is boosting Americans' bottom lines across the country.
The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs.
AI creates jobs. I want to be very clear. AI creates jobs.
And all that story that we're hearing right now is a bunch of bullshit. That story is hiding something. And what it's hiding is AI isn't just taking your job, it's taking your future. So for you to understand why this is so bad, you have to understand what entry-level jobs were. Because entry-level jobs weren't really about the money. It was about getting reps, like Tiger Woods on the driving range, or Kobe in the gym. Like going to meetings, learning new skills, learning how the company actually works. All that was the real product of entry-level jobs. It's how it worked for boomers, how it worked for Gen X, and it's how it worked for late millennials. And then something broke. Well, it broke in two phases. But here's the thing that completely changes all of this. Entry-level work didn't break down when AI came into the picture. AI is just checkmate. The scary part is entry-level jobs have been breaking down for years now, way before ChatGPT ever existed. Alright, so stage one happened around the 2010s. This was after the Great Recession in 2008, when business owners started to up their antics for entry-level work. They looked for things like college degrees, certification, because businesses, after this whole financial crash, didn't want to invest into things that were risky, especially when it came to workers. And if you didn't have any type of skills or proof that you could be an asset, well, you were kind of risky. You see, people with college degrees are seen as reliable. The Harvard Business School found that companies systematically started upskilling job requirements after the 2008 recession, requiring degrees, certifications, and experience for jobs that historically never needed them. And this started something called the experience paradox. How do you get experience in an entry-level position when entry-level positions require experience? So what did this stage actually mean? It meant that the economy slowly started taking away places where young professionals had the ability to learn. So the gateway to a professional work and entry-level jobs slowly started to close. But it didn't entirely collapse yet, because there were still positions young adults could get into. It was just more competitive. Then came stage two, and this just fucked everything. We fast forward to 2022, where we saw big tech companies chop down positions like it was rapid deforestation.
Meta and Microsoft announced a combined 23,000 job cuts, and that speaks to how tech giants are doing more with fewer workers.
And after these layoffs, the earnings call all started to sound the same.
Striking is that obviously AI is far more central.
And then after these earnings call, guess what?
And also that Meta is performing very well. I mean, the stock price is up.
And this changes the entire story, because usually when you have layoffs, your stock goes down. But because we put this little thing called AI in between your layoffs and your stock price, your profits shoot to the moon. And what this shows is companies, even though they're laying off people, aren't struggling to survive. They're realizing that they can operate with fewer younger workers. One executive even admitted that some companies no longer hire below a certain engineering level. Now, hearing all this, and if you're in your early career, this really should terrify you, because this is targeted specifically to you. 63% of executives in a LinkedIn survey said AI would replace at least some of the work done by entry-level employees at their company. Not eventually replace, would replace, meaning it's going to happen. Alright, now this is where things start to get difficult for me to ignore, because the executive surveys are one thing, but the labor market data is when shit gets real. According to Bloomberg, recent college graduates are facing an unemployment rate of 5.8% higher than the national average. Some graduates have applied to hundreds of jobs without receiving a single offer. I mean, this just explains why so many people in their 20s feel exhausted right now. You know what's even worse is when you actually do hear back from a job that you applied to, and the response is from an AI bot. You're being screened by the same technology that is replacing the job that you're applying for. But there's something that nobody's really talking about, because everybody frames this as a job problem. But it's not a job problem. It's a compound interest problem. And honestly, out of everything that I've said, that is the thing that should scare you the most. And here's what I mean. The entry-level job was the beginning of a compound career growth. The skills that you learned at 22 gave you a promotion at 25. The network you built at 25 compounded into opportunities at 30. The salary increase that you got at 30 compounded into savings and investment and being able to retire in your 60s. That's how careers are supposed to work. But not for Gen Z, because Gen Z isn't just missing a paycheck. They are missing the first input into a 40-year compounding equation. And so if that first input doesn't exist, then how is Gen Z supposed to build a future? Everything after that gets pushed back. Home ownership, kids, relationship, retirement, everything, because you can't get an entry-level job that builds a career, gets pushed back. Or you might not even obtain those things at all. Not because Gen Z was lazy, but because the compounding never started. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, underemployment remains elevated for recent college grads. So even the people that are finding work, this is work that they're not going to build careers from. It's just a job. AI is taking all the jobs that you can build a successful career so that you can have a future. And honestly, it feels like people that are in power don't really care about this part. They say, learn AI skills, adapt. The economy evolves. But this advice is completely wrong, because telling a 23-year-old to learn AI is not going to change the fact that the job that he wants to get to build a career doesn't exist anymore. AI is coming for entry-level jobs that have traditionally launched careers. People aren't excited for the future anymore. They're exhausted because they've done everything right. They gone to school, they got their degree, they got certifications, they got skills, and they still can't get into a job that's going to build a career for them and have a good future. So if this video resonated with you, I encourage you to drop a comment. If you agree, if you don't agree, what are you seeing in the job market? I would love to connect with you and kind of experience what you're feeling when it comes to entry-level work and AI. And honestly, share this with somebody in their 20s, because the more people that understand what's going on, the better off Gen Z will be when it comes to the workforce. I'll see you in the next one.